Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, the Pivots Queen, and welcome to another Monday Markups. It's about 8 o'clock right now, so I'm a little late recording this, but I wanted to get this out to you guys, so hopefully I can get it all uploaded and done by tonight so it could be released on Monday. Welcome to another Monday Markups. I'm excited to have you here. I can't wait to go over the analysis that I had for last week and then show you what I see coming up for this week. Don't really have much of an intro. Let's just hop into it. Let's hop on the charts. Hey guys, so welcome to another Monday Markups. I'm really excited to go over what ended up playing out last week. I had one of the best weeks I've had all year last week with Nas. So I'm really excited to go over Nas especially, but I'll be going over Nas in the end, of course. But I keep a spreadsheet, so this is so personal. But this is all of the trades I take, what time I take them, the date I take them. I keep track of all of that, how many pips I caught. So last year, this is about how many pips I caught. If you don't know how to count pips yet, because I actually realized the other day, not everyone that's watching this call actually trades. You might be completely new to trading. You probably don't understand anything I'm talking about, and that's perfectly fine. Just keep showing up to these classes, and I promise you one day it will start to make sense. Also, be on the lookout for my beginners course, which will be coming out really soon. You can also check out another website called babypips.com. And that is a good place to kind of get your footing with trading Forex as well. And also, just to let people know that what I'm marking up my analysis on, or what I'm looking at these candles on, is TradingView. So if you just go to tradingview.com, you'll have to make an account. If you sign up for an account, it's free, or the basic version is free. There's paid versions, but if you're completely new, just sign it up for it for free. You can get the candles kind of pulled up like I do. And the more you play with it, the more familiar you'll get with the tools. I'll have to make a separate video, just kind of like, I don't know, like a 5 things you need to get started trading type video to help the people who are like completely new kind of get started. With all that being said, let's just hop into the charts. So last week, AU, I think I drew this trend line on last week Monday's markup. And I was waiting for a break and retest of this trend line, and I said I was going to take it back up to this green box and kind of wait to see what price does from there. So last week I traded AU. Once price broke this trend line, and kind of drew my fib, got in on the retracement, and I caught about 79 pips from AU. And this is why I always kind of say, like, I don't really mainly trade Forex. So I really only mark it up to kind of give you guys trades, and then I walk away from it. But this was a beautiful trade setup because this black line was my major trend line, and price broke and retested that trend line. So this would have been a great opportunity to get in for a sell once we had a break of that trend line as well. And I would have sold it down at least to the green box. So AU went crazy, and this is actually a response to, so this is a good example of when I say the DXY moves with like the USD pairs. So we see it how AU kind of sold, it pulled back and it sold again. Hopefully I'm not doing too much, but I'm gonna switch over to the DXY, and we'll see the DXY did the opposite. It bought, sold down, and bought up again. So that's why I keep an eye on the DXY when I'm trading my USD pairs. It's not always 100%, opposite, but it's a good indicator to let you know. I also went over the DXY last week, and we were in this green zone, and I was saying price could sell back down to this trend line and then come back up to this minus 61.8. So that played out pretty perfectly. So this right here, this pullback, is when I was looking for my buy setups, and then as soon as we saw the DXY moving up, I would have been looking for sell setups on my pairs like AU or EU. Anything that has USD on the end of it, it's going to do the opposite. Right, and then if you have USD in the front, it's going to do the same. I don't really trade USD in the front pairs, but that would be pairs like USDJPY, USD CAD. It would move the same as the DXY. So wanted to say that. For this week, basically a lot of what I see for this week for most of the pairs are just pullbacks for the continuations. For AU, what I would look for is I honestly am looking at this for a buy for the time being. You can buy it up to this blue zone. The reason why I'm comfortable with this buy, kind of like Market X, was mainly because we already broke this trend line. I would say you could probably expect a retest of this area, or probably back to this trend line of some sort. If you do get in, and I don't know how long it's going to take me to actually post this video, so hopefully price isn't too far away from where it is now. But if you do enter into this, make sure that your stop loss is just a little bit below the last low, right? So if you get in here, your stop loss would be a little bit lower than this last low that occurred, and then that would take it up to the blue zone. If you want to be safer about your entry, you can wait till price breaks above this blue zone, take it to the green zone, and then the last place I would TP would be possibly this purple zone up here, right? So that's what I would be looking for AU. Oh, this is going to be so out of order. Gosh, I wanted to show you guys the bigger fib on AU, which would have been confirmation for this sell too. So hopefully this isn't going to be confusing. Might have to well, all right, we'll figure it out. But the big fib I had on AU, so I was looking for this buy here, but I was able to draw a bigger fib. So this is A, this is B, right? Because this is where the move that actually broke my major trend line. So that's where I try to look to draw my fibs. If I see a move, you know, in the trend, right? So we want to draw our fibs in the direction of the trend. This is a downtrend. So my 100% A to B, my 0%. All right. I fibbed this because this is what broke my major trend line. So I want to see that retest kind of line up with my fibs. So the retest lined up close with the 38.2, which would have also been confirmation for this sell. And then you can use your fibs for your TPs on the way down. So if you got in, you know, once price broke that trend line, broke below that green zone, you had your confirmation. You can take it to, let's see, the 0 is a place I TP at, the minus 27, the minus 38.2, and then the minus 61.8 would have been my last TP. So that hit all TPs. So if you got in that sell from just like your bigger fib and your extra confirmation, that move was 267 pips, which is crazy. So I gave you like a 80 pip move, but you could have got, you know, a lot more than that. So yeah, this week I'm expecting pullbacks. So you kind of, I don't want to say hop in now, but kind of am saying get in now. Be careful though, just because it had such strong selling momentum. The momentum could keep going. So be careful. Make sure you use your stop losses and place your stop loss a little lower than that last low. And then if you want to be safer, wait till you break above this blue zone, take it to the green zone. And if you see price break above there, you could take it to this purple zone. And that would be waiting here to see if we see price start to reverse, right? But that is what I'm looking for AU. So for AJ, I actually remember AJ, okay? So price was about right below this trend line, because I mentioned I've been waiting for a sell for AJ for so long, but price has just been shooting up, right? I was waiting, I mean, way before here, but I think even on the first Monday markups, I was like, wait till we get below this blue zone to start selling. Price just never did. When I did the second Monday markups, I have to not number them, even though this is only my third one, but the other Monday market previous to this week, price was around here, and I was like, wait until we probably get some more bearish divergence confirmation before you hop into that sell. And you might want to wait until it's back below this trend line to get in. Well, price shot up above my zone. I ended up getting into a buy. I kind of just drew out a quick fib from A to B, so we're in a buy trend. So that's why I drew my fib there. This was a shallow retracement, so it retraced to the 23. Jim, if you have shallow retracements, I'm really only looking to take it to like the minus 27 overall. It can go to the minus 61.8, but if it's shallow like that, I'm really only looking to take it to the minus 27. So that's why I took this trade. I know I didn't really go over it, but I kind of wanted to show what I ended up doing with this trade. So I got 76 pips from this. When I'm trading Forex, I'm really only looking for like 50 to 100 pips. So I hit my pip goal with that, and I kind of walked away. And then I came back and saw price had broke. It's not the cleanest break and retest, but price did break and retest this trend line on top of actually getting that bearish divergence confirmation. So this could have been your first entry into the sell. Now, if you waited to be safe and you waited for price to come back below this trend line like how I mentioned, then this could have been an entry for the sell as well. And then I would have taken it down to this blue zone, and then if we broke through that zone, I would have been aiming for that blue zone. So kind of just going over how I would have found my setups for this sell move that happened on AJ. I just wish that I actually paid attention to Forex a little more so I could have caught it, but I had the setup there and I could have executed. And hopefully you guys take the time to kind of attempt to try to copy my trend lines or see if your trend lines are close to mine. Our charts aren't going to look the same because we aren't the same people, and trading is all about what you see. So how you see the charts is going to be different from how I see the charts regardless. But I'm sharing my insight to kind of give you insight, and we can compare, see if you see the same things, so on and so forth. All right, so this week for AJ, I am looking for, I am really cautious with trading AJ, just because JPY pairs, not all, let me take that back, but some JPY pairs can be a little volatile. AJ and like GJ, EJs, I can say a lot of the JPY pairs can be a little volatile. So I'm very cautious on waiting for the break and retest for these pairs. So like if I use this for example, this broke this trend line, but it didn't come to retest it, whereas here this was the break and then this was the retest. It didn't come right back to the line, but it had a bit of a pullback before it continued. So that's what I mean by break and retest. I feel like I'm going on a tangent. Okay, so for AJ this week, I'm gonna wait until we actually break and retest this trend line, or if we break back above this zone, and I would just take it back to this zone, this blue area that I have here. Let's see, because we did just break, I think that's a major trend line. Oh, I like that. Yeah, so I would take it back to this blue zone and then see what price does. Price can even come back to this trend line. So that's kind of what I would be looking for. We already have divergence on the 1 hour. Yeah, we have a little bit of divergence on the 15 minutes. And okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, I would be a little cautious and patient with this buy, but I do love this buy. I love pivots. I am gonna like start featuring pivots more and stuff. I'm just trying to do a little bit at a time. We'll get there. So I will be cautious waiting for this entry because I feel like price can come back to this blue zone or actually touch this blue zone. So I would be a little patient. But if we do get a break and retest of this line, you can take it up, or like I said, be a little bit more patient and wait until we break above this box, and I would take it up to this blue zone. But I do like the buys, and we already have the bearish divergence confirmation. If you want extra confirmation, yeah, we have a lot of bullish. Sorry, I said bearish. We already have a lot of bullish divergence on like the hour, the 30 minute, the 15 minute. So I would kind of wait for the trend line to break. This trend line in particular, I'm actually making it black. This is based off the 1 hour. The 15 minute looks like it already broke that trend line. Yeah. So this is another one. You might see an American X. Just be careful with the pullback. Wait a minute. The more I mark this up, the more that I like it. Because look at that. So right now, currently at 8:33, we are here. So again, be cautious. That's what I'm gonna say. Be cautious because we didn't really technically break above this high. So but I like this. I would go ahead and get in market X. I would make my stop loss like there. That's like 46 pips. And then yeah, this would be what I'm looking for. The 1-to-2 ratio. I usually like 1-to-3. And it would be 1-to-3 if price breaks above this zone. Now this is the thing. If price breaks above this zone, then that's when I'm taking it up to here. Right, so that's why this is like my TP now. But I am gonna see if price breaks above this zone, and then I could probably get another entry. But this overall is what I'm looking at. Trying not to look too far into the future. But I do like this setup for AJ. But don't be startled if it does actually come to this blue zone before it starts to buy. Or if you do see a break and retest of this trend line, then that could be an entry as well. So I like that for AJ. EU. Honestly, I don't even really remember what I went over for EU, but I'll go over what I actually did last week. I know this green line is my 4-hour trend line, so it's very important to me, and I know price is going to break above and below. I think the week before, I bought from here to there because it was like a quick little pips, and then you could have slowed down to the weekly. Yeah. So I said after big moves, there's going to be consolidation before another move happens. I remember. So this is the consolidation that I was talking about, and we were by the weekly. Weekly usually means consolidation. So I drew a minor trend line, which was this trend line here. So price broke and retested this trend line. That was my confirmation to get in for the buy, and I could have got an entry here. However, I don't watch Forex that much, so I missed this entry, but I didn't let that stop me. Once I saw price break above this 4-hour trend line, I was like, oh yeah, this is my time. So I drew my fib, this being my A, this being my B. I got in when it came to the 50 because this is also when it touched the trend line. This was about a 30 pip stop loss, and I took it to my minus 16 with 8. So I got 89 pips from that. And then I walked away. Now, had I continued watching this, once I saw price break and retest below this trend line, I definitely would have got in for a sell. Honestly, where I would have TP'd would have been pivot level. I definitely would have TP'd there. And I would TP. I'm gonna have to do like a what is this video? This looks so good. And for my people who know what pivots is and like what we're looking at right now, then you already know. I don't have to say much else. For people who don't know what pivots is, it's fine. You will get to know it. This looks really good. Alright. So what I'm looking at for this week for EU. I want price to break above this zone here for me to get in for this buy. Some bullish divergence to accompany that would also be great just for my self-esteem. but okay. So we already had the minor trend line break and retest. I can see that. This looks so good. All right. Yep. All right. So, what I'm looking for. All right. Sorry. I'm back now. I want price to break above this blue zone for confirmation to get in. Because there's been a lot of times where I've gotten into EU too early, so I don't rush my entries for EU at all. Even though we had the minor trend line breaking retest, I want price to come above here before I enter for a buy. If I do enter, I'd be looking to take it to this green zone, right? And then if price breaks above that green zone, I'd be looking to take it to this blue zone. That's the 1 hour zone. Right, and I'm not going to go above here because I want to see how price reacts in my 50.618 to see if we could get a continuation for the sell. So that's why I said a lot of what I'm seeing this week is pull back for the continuation for the sell moves that started. So yeah, this week for EU, wait until we break above this blue box, take it back to this trend line, back to this green box. If we break above this green box, above this trend line, take it to this blue box. And that is what I'm looking for EU. Oh, and then if price actually respects this trend line, go ahead and look to take it down some more. But that is EU. GJ. So GJ, I was really dragging this trend line out for like who knows how long, right? And I was waiting for price to break below this trend line. I ended up getting into like a little buy. So last week, my memory sucks. So when I remember something, it's so exciting. Last week I drew this fib. I said it could be temporary because I don't know if that was the high. That did end up being the high. And what I did is on the lower time frame, I just drew a trend line. Once price broke and retested that trend line, that's when I got in. I took it to a little bit above the 618. I kind of used pivot levels for that. This was the bread and butter of my week, and that's why I could be so lackadaisical with all the other players this week. So I caught this move, and then I stopped trading. Price actually broke and retested this trend line. You could have sold it down to this trend line, and once you got the break and retest of this trend line, I was taking it down to this blue box. So this was a beautiful trade for GJ. And now for this week, I do think we could see a little bit of a pullback, but I would definitely wait for a break and retest of this trend line. But I feel like I'm not really going to give a trade. So for the record, I'm not giving a trade for GJ this week because after she has big moves like this, she either consolidates or she keeps on going. So I want to be patient with this one. So I'm just going to scratch this from my list. I'm not even going to watch it this week, honestly, because I caught some pips. I would just say wait to see what price does at this trend line. And it could buy up some. And then if price breaks below this zone, you can take it to the next zone. But I'm not really going to give an official analysis for GJ. Yeah, I'm skipping GJ this week. That's all. I'm skipping GJ this week. I had a good week. I was waiting for the break of this trend line and we got it. I missed it. Hopefully you caught it. I would just say get a good look at my zones and mark it up and trying to see what price does I'm a little undecided with GJ. So there's GJ. Gold. Okay, so let's go over gold. I drew a trend line for gold. I can't remember which one I drew in the call because I had to. I had a minor trend line for gold here, and once we broke this minor trend line, I actually brought it back up to this other trend line that I had, but I know I drew this trend line on the call. And I said wait for the break and retest of this trend line to get in for a buy, right? So, oh, and wait for it to be above this purple zone. If I didn't say that, I hope I did. But yeah, that's what I was looking for. Price did break above this trend line, and you could have caught a few pips. It just didn't make it back to that blue zone. That's not a bad amount of pips for gold. But I think what ended up happening for me, because I try to trade gold a little more often, I got in for the buy, but once I saw this candle right here, I closed my buy because that's clearly breaking the zone. Then price came, it retested this trend line, so I got in for a little buy back to the zone. But once I saw the wicks, I got in for a sell and I sold it back down to this blue zone. And that was it. I was just done trading gold. Once I saw it break this zone, I could have taken it down to that next zone. But yeah, that is what ended up happening for gold. I'm gonna readjust my trend line now that it kind of broke above. So this is my new trend line. And then for gold, I would just keep it real simple. You can probably, whatever. You could probably take it back up to this zone, or you could take it back up to this trend line. I might put gold on my list of GJ. Like me personally, I won't be taking any trades on gold this week just because I had such a good week with gold last week. But what I see, a little bit of a pullback probably to this blue zone or back to this trend line, and then see what price does after that. If we break and retest above, you know, you got your zones already out there for you. And then if we break below, I don't even have any zones for this zone. But that goes to show you how strong this level is, because we've been here. That's 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna just say that's like 4. How many times we've been here and price is just not broken through this level. So price does break through this level. I got a zone. So if price breaks through this level, I will be looking to take it to this zone, maybe the weekly. And then if price breaks above the trend line, then I'm looking to take it to like this purple zone. Right, so that is my analysis for gold. Oh, while I'm here, because I did have a buy fib on this. This is one of those times because not all of my fibs play out, and that's why I have to react to what the market is doing, and that's why I like using trend lines instead of just saying, oh, 618, get in. So I had a buy fib, which I actually don't know why I did, because this structure right here actually broke my major trend line, and so I make mistakes too. I think I drew this before it actually broke there. But yeah, this came to 618. That fib is invalid. So I usually leave these up, or you can just delete it. But what I should have fibbed is this was what the trend that actually broke, or this is the structure that actually broke my trend, right? That this was a shallow retracement to the 23, so I would have been looking to take it to mainly the 27. This one actually played all the way out to the 618. That's the fib I should have drawn, and that ended up playing out. So even if you draw your fibs wrong, if you have your zones and your trend lines in divergence, you can still be right. That's why I want to show that. So that's gold. I'm not even going to touch US30, but US30 been looking real good. Now let's get into this NOS, and I have so many layers of NOS. All right. So I'm actually go down to the 15 minute. I ended up taking like 7 trades on NOS overall. So I'm gonna try to go through these as quickly as I can. Hopefully they make sense. And then I'm gonna give you what I see this week for NOS. So last week when we started with Monday Markups, I already had these 2 entries. And I was looking to take it up to this blue zone and possibly this purple zone, if I recall correctly. What ended up happening is I drew a trend line once price started to kind of make this downtrending trend. And this was around opening bell. So once I saw price break and retest that trend line, that's when I got into this trade. So I ended up getting for a buy. I ended up taking a little higher than I might have mentioned on the call, but I took it to the 88 of this fib. This was also a pivot level. So that trade was beautiful. That was 3,570 pips. Then the next day, I got into another buy. It's like a minor trend line. I just didn't draw it. I can see trend lines at this point. But yeah, once I saw how price was reacting at this level, price wasn't breaking through, I went and got into another buy, and I was just looking to take it to my green zone that I had up here. Price ended up respecting this major trend line that I've had sitting on my chart. Price also broke this minor trend line that I had, so I got in for a sell down back to this same trend line that I've been using for my buying. Hopefully all of this is making sense and I'm not just like confusing it. But I basically just had a channel. So if I zoom out, I was just trading in this overall channel. So this was the bottom channel line and this was the top channel line. And I was seeing price respect that channel, so I was trading in between the channels, right? So buying and selling on NOS is hard if you don't understand minor structure, because this is minor structure and major structure mixed, right? So if all of this, me going through this, is like, whoa, what in the world is she talking about? You could have just looked for buy setups. So like ignore that. So we had this buy. You could have waited for this buy setup that happened here. When price came back to this channel line, you could have gotten to a buy here, right? And you could have just had straight buys and you would have been good off the week. I just so happen to be able to see both on top of using divergence confirmations as well. So I like to use those too. But anyway, let's get back into it. So I got into the sell, price respected this channel line, so I got into another buy, and I was actually looking to take it to this green box. However, you know, I have to react to what price does. So, and the price actually took its time with that buy too. I did have a TP set here just because price came to this level like 2 or 3 times without breaking it. So I did have most of my TP kind of set there. Then I saw how price, this is another major trend line. Price respected this trend line here. Price also respected this trend line here. So that was why I was like, I'm just going to get into a sell. But my real confirmation was this minor trend line, and I wanted a break and retest of that trend line, which is what I got. And then I sold down. But how I got my TPs is based on bigger fib structure. So this is why I was saying you have to understand minor and major structure. This is going to be real confusing because I have a lot of fibs on my chart, but just stick with me. Where was it? I found my top and bottom. I don't want to highlight the wrong fib. I normally try to like delete, you know, some fibs so it's like easier to see. This was A, this was B. Okay, so I see now. This was actually a case scenario of 100% fib retracement. Let me see if I can. Sorry, this isn't really that messy. And I'm like, I mean, this is really, really messy and I'm in a rush, so I can't go through and like delete and clean up like I want to. But this is the fib right here. So hopefully you can see it. This is A, this is B, this is the fib. This actually ended up being 100% retracement. So I actually could have, and I did end up holding this trade a lot longer than I had my TP set for. But this was my 27 and this was my minus 618. So I honestly could have TP there. So this is what I mean by knowing where your bigger structure is. Even though I was taking all these moves on the inside for the buy, overall I was waiting for the sell setup. I just had to wait basically the week to actually get that entry, because this was like maybe Thursday, I want to say. Yeah, I think that was Thursday, because Friday just kind of continued to move. So I got in here. I had my TP set at the 100% or the 0%, but I did end up holding to this green zone, and that drop alone was ridiculous. But I got that from having my major structure fibs, you know, set up, and that knowing what I was looking for. So that was all last week. Hopefully that's too much. I don't know how much of that I'm just gonna like cut out or leave in or whatever, but hopefully kind of following what trades I took for the week helps. You kind of see how I see the market is literally just trend line breaks, fibs, divergence, and so on. Right? Now on to this week. So today was a headache. I'm not even gonna hold you. It was a lot of back and forth, but I'm gonna show you what I ended up doing today and what I see for this week. So I drew a trend line, this being my 2 points, right? You need 2 points to draw a trend line. So those were my 2 points. Price broke and retested that trend line. So I ended up getting into the trade. My entry wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be, but we don't need to be like snipers, we just need to catch flips, right? So it's a little higher than I wanted it to be because I wanted to be right at that retest, and then price played around. I don't know if you can see, you should be able to see all these wicks. When I tell you price is up and down and up and down, even the opening bell, it was very undecided. This is why you kind of have to like stick to what you do, you know? So I know I trade break and retest. I had that. I had my bullish divergence. I had, you know, confirmation for that, and I had my fibs, you know. So I kind of just had to let price do what it's going to do, and you know, trust my trade, and you know, that's ended up what happened. Oh, I ended up catching. I'm still in this trade, but it's 2,320 pips in profit right now. I did TP at the bottom of this green zone because I knew it was strong resistance, and that's kind of why price bounced off of it the way it did. Now, I explained that trade. So that was my one trade for this week, or at least for Monday. What I'm expecting for this week, I'm gonna drag that trend line out. Price could come back to that trend line, and so that's why I dragged it out. I have a bigger fib on this. Ultimately, I'm looking to see if price is going to come back to this green zone that it broke through. And then I want to see if price is going to reverse from here or not. But basically, I'm looking for a pullback. It looks really big on the 15-minute, and it's not really that big of a pullback compared to how far down Nas actually moved on the higher time frame. But overall, I am looking for sells for Nas. This is just kind of like a pullback before the sell. I wouldn't even be surprised if price came to this major trend line that I have here. But yeah, that is what I'm looking for this week. Kind of similar to last week, where we'll see like pullbacks and then maybe another drop off where I think it's selling to. If it breaks through, look, it's always if, right? And that's the best way to trade. I react to the market. So if the market does this, I do that. So that's kind of the mindset you want to be in when you're trading. And also, if you don't have a trading journal, please get a trading journal. I don't know why I felt the need to say that, but have a trading journal. Like, document yourself. Treat this like a business, and you're your own business owner. This is not the casino. This is not you're gonna get rich over time or rich overnight. This is like you'll get rich over time with consistency and growth and all that stuff. So please get a trading journal. Anyway, what I'm looking for NAS, if we do start to see a sell, whether it's a break in our trend or anything of that nature, obviously sell back down to this green zone, sell down to this blue zone, and if we break this blue zone, I'd be looking to take it to the weekly. This is my minus 38.2, and this is my minus 16.18. Right, so this is kind of like the areas I'm targeting once we do enter into that sell. But right now we're pulling back, so I can't say when it's going to happen. I would just say, draw your trend lines and wait for your trend line break. But yeah, it's 9 o'clock. I wanted to have this video up by 9 o'clock, and I just finished recording. So I'm going to edit this as fast as humanly possible so I can have this out to you guys tonight, so you can have the analysis for the week. Hopefully you've made some pips with me this week, and if you have caught some of these moves and you caught some of these pips, or I'm just even opening your eyes to the market, comment down below and let me know so I can engage and communicate with you guys. Let me know down below if these calls are helping. Let me know what type of videos or content you want to see from me, or what else you want to see from me. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel because it really helps me out. Share this video with a friend, and I will see you guys all next Monday.